Hey guys, it's Elizabeth, Finding Elizabeth, and I'm here tonight on The Naked Truth with Jamie, VSG Betty. And again, hi Jamie, say hello.
Hello.
You look so cute. You always look so cute.
Thank you.
So this is our second show this week, and both times everybody's been in Southern California. We're having some crazy ass windstorms right now. Is that going on where you're at, Jamie?
Yeah. The peaks are high. I'm on the San Diego Bay, so the palm trees are swaying. It's a bit crazy.
It's a little crazy. So hopefully it won't do anything with the internet. It's really loud too. So it's just me tonight. Patty was supposed to co-host, and she had a family thing come up. So I was cool with just hanging out with Jamie on my own. So it's just the two of us. How's
Awesome.
your week been, Jamie? I know you've had a lot going on, according to Facebook.
Yeah, I've I had my 3-year surgeversary this week on Thursday. Yeah. And as soon as I left my doctor's appointment, my mom called and said my dad had had a heart attack and was in the ER.
Right.
But all was well. My dad was taken in for a mild heart attack. They put a stent in, and he was doing well. And then my mom had to go to the emergency room for chest pains.
Oh, Lord.
But hers was, she had high blood pressure and low potassium. And then her, and her EKG was abnormal. They took her in. She was admitted overnight. Thankfully, they were here in San Diego because they live in Palm Springs. So it was crazy. They both were released last night, and they drove back to Palm Springs today. So I'm just going to take a deep breath. And tomorrow is February 1st, and trying January is over.
Yeah. I'm having a bit of a nervous breakdown over here, as I told you before we went on the air. I have like 36 hours before I have to move.
Oh, and you're not.
I'm
as
about
your board is behind you.
Yeah, as you can see, this room hasn't even really been touched. I'm about 40% done. I have a huge meeting in LA tomorrow, so I'm going to be in LA all day tomorrow. And I went by my new place, and it's a 2-story, but it's like a loft on top, and realized it's really difficult to get furniture up. On that second story, you actually have to use a pulley to get it up over the wall because it's a spiral staircase.
Oh, jeez.
So I have to call the movers in the morning to try to figure that out, because I was going to use that space as my office, but I was going to put a couch up there so people could sleep over, like when you come up from San Diego for my birthday.
Right? That's right.
So I have to figure that out. Nothing's packed, so I'm a little stressed, but hey, it's all good. So if you guys want to let us know you're watching, I forgot to put the Q&A thing on before we started because I had a few glitches tonight. Like I was telling Jamie I couldn't hear her and something was wrong with her mic and my headphones weren't plugged in. So,
but I could hear you perfectly.
That's right, because your headphones were plugged in. Yeah, funny how that works. But anyway, so I didn't put the Q&A thing up. So if you guys want, I was going to say to use that tonight instead of my cell phone because it's just me. So it would be sort of rude for Jamie to be answering questions and me to be looking down at my cell phone. But I guess I'm going to have to be rude.
We'll do whatever.
Sorry. So if you guys want to text questions or let us know you're watching, you can do that at 714-625-5663. And I'm really happy. I've been giving out my cell phone number on YouTube for like a month. I haven't gotten a dick pic yet.
No, that's disappointing. I'm really feeling
actually,
bad
maybe
now.
I should be disappointed. Is it no? Don't anyone take that as an invitation.
Yeah, it's not an invitation. But I really feel like, what? But why hasn't one? At least one.
Yeah, really. Should I take that personally?
It's that double-edged sword. I bet it's that catch-22. It's that gray area we really don't want to mess with.
Okay. See, I didn't even think about it like that. Now, it's all about me, so I'm going to take that personally. But real quick,
sometimes why not?
Why not? Let's do our community celebrations. We've got a lot of big things going on this week. Jamie's celebrating her 3-year surgeversary.
Woo-woo.
Trisha from the Pretty Losers is down 200 pounds, and it feels like she had surgery like 5 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, it does. That's awesome.
So, not quite sure how that happened, but congratulations. You looked great before. You look great now. And I'm just so proud of you. And then VSG lost 100 pounds in surgery. And she is kicking ass at the gym doing CrossFit, which, and her doing a handstand is what inspired me to start doing the handstands and for us to start talking about cartwheels or the plank for 2016. So the whole planking thing started in Chicago last year in March. So some of us are practicing our cartwheels to try to do that.
I'm ready. I'm ready to cartwheel in Chicago.
Awesome. I don't know if I am. Lindsay Fly says she's going to teach me how to do it when she comes. Jenny VSG has also lost 100 pounds since surgery. SJ Hamilton has lost 50 pounds. She's another one who it seems like she had surgery like 5 minutes ago. And then two of I consider them newbies. I actually don't remember how far out they are from surgery, but to me, they're newbies. Both Brands VSG and Precious Roberts hit Wonderland this week. So that's awesome. I'm still not back there. I was there for 5 seconds. I should be back there soon. Gastric Tiger celebrated his birthday.
Yay!
And he got his new dream car, and he actually made a video for the first time in 100 years.
Nice.
So that's good. And Lee Ann French joined the Bariatric Foodie Pledge to deal with some regain. I wasn't familiar with what that was, but if you look on my Facebook page where I ask for shout outs, she has a link to it. So I didn't get a chance to check it out, but you may want to check that out. So she's doing that to deal with some regain. Carrie Childress is having her surgery next Friday. Congratulations, Carrie. And Gretchen VSG texted me today that she is still a skinny bitch. She's a skinnier bitch, and now she's in a size 6 pair of pants. So whatever. And what you told me when you're like a size nothing.
2. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the brand. 0 to 6, depending who makes it.
0 to 6, depending who makes it.
Yeah. Praise the Lord for vanity sizing.
I know, right?
Because when I can buy a 0, it's like, what? This is a lie. I know how much I weigh. This is a lie, but I'll take it.
Whatever. Yeah, that's what I say about these 10s that were falling down yesterday. I'm like, that is so not true.
When you can shop in the little girls departments when it gets scary.
Quit it. Quit bragging. So it was your 3-year surgery anniversary. Why don't you give everybody just kind of your general story on when you had surgery, what you had, where you had it, how much you've lost, yada, yada, yada.
All the usual.
Yeah.
So my highest recorded weight was 238. I was probably heavier than that at some point when I look back at photos, but I'm 5'4", according to my doctor. But now that I am a skinny bitch, I'm 5'5" because I stand taller.
Interesting.
So I had VSG at the Balboa Naval Medical Center, which is here in San Diego. Thank God for the Navy because they pay for it. yes.
Yeah.
When your tax dollars go to something great. So I was 221, I think, the day of my surgery, or 218 the day of my actual surgery, which was January 28th of 13. And then, let's see. And then I hit goal in October of 2013. I was fortunate in a sense. My husband deployed that year. So I kind of didn't have to deal with, my kids did their own thing eating wise. So it was really easy to stay on track and just lose. And I didn't have any distractions or anything. So I hit goal in October of 2013.
So in like 9 months or 8 months, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Yeah. I called goal at like 136. And then I proceeded to go down to 124 after I had plastic surgery in January of 14. Mm-hmm. I had my plastics and I went down to 124, which was too low. And now I'm like at 135, 130. I'm right around my goal weight again now. So I'm around 135, 136 right now, which is a good place. I'm still wearing all the same clothes, even though I've had like a 10 to 12 pound range from my lowest to now. All my clothes are still the same.
Cool.
So.
And you look amazing.
Thank you.
So Jamie came out when everybody was here visiting, and I had met her before, but I hadn't really had time to, I hadn't really gotten to know her very much. So love her. And now she's coming to Chicago too. I'm so excited.
Right. Do you want to know something really funny, Liz?
What?
I didn't think I was going to like you.
Oh my, why did you think you were
Is that
going
so
to like
funny?
me?
Because you know how you see some people on Facebook and you're just like, I'm not sure. Are they authentic? Is that really how they are? Is that genuine? And then I met you and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally love her. And I really wasn't sure if I was going to like you when I met you in person. And I was like, oh, this is what I've been missing. Like, I know I had met you, but we've never really talked or connected. And so I was like, oh, I just feel like I just gained a whole new friend on a different level. Like, I didn't expect.
Yeah, me too. But so now do you think I'm authentic on Facebook or not?
Well, no, I do. But you know how you don't, but I didn't know you.
You didn't
so
know,
I didn't
right.
know, like, I don't know. Is that how she is? Is she putting on a face? Because I know people think that way about me too. When they see like, you know, and just since it's called The Naked Truth, shit happens in my life, people. I just don't post it on Facebook. Like, my life is not all rainbows and butterflies, but that's what I want to post on Facebook is the good, happy parts. And I just don't post the other parts.
And I guess mine is so much more rainbows and butterflies now than it used to be that it may seem like that's what it is, because it sort of is now a little bit.
And I don't have two accounts. I'm a person who has one account. I've never had two accounts. So my life is transparent for both. You know, I don't separate my life based on VSG and like my regular life.
Right.
It's just all one. It's one thing for me. So I'm very transparent, but I just keep the crappy part off of it.
Yeah, which is, you know, not a bad idea sometimes to do that. But yeah, I just, I don't think I thought about, was I sure I was going to like you, but I didn't know that I would connect with you as much as I did.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was so shocked. I was like, oh my gosh. I called Melissa Reed, Mama Mia's VSG, on my way home from your house. And I was like, you're not going to believe this. I totally had the best time with Liz. And I know you're going to be surprised. And I was like, you're going to be shocked. But I had the best time.
You came when you didn't think you were going to have a good time?
I really did. I actually.
You would have had so much more fun if you were drinking, but she was being responsible. And
yes, but I have, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I get anxiety in social settings. Like when I'm unsure of what's going to happen when I get there, especially if I have to drive a long ways.
You came to my house too.
And I can talk myself out of going to something. Like, it happens to me all the time. I can totally talk myself out of going and doing something because I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen when I get there. And then what if I don't like them and I'm there? But I decided I was done here. And I was in my house and my children's, and I was like, I need a break. I'm just going to go and have a good time. And it was so much better than I anticipated. And now I have new friends. It's awesome.
I know. I'm so
more
excited.
than Facebook, like acquaintance friends, like real friends.
Yeah, and that you live close. I mean, I mean, reasonably close. And I go to San Diego a good bit, like every other week. So that's very cool. So, tell us a little bit about your story around weight. Were you overweight as a kid?
I have been off and on fat. So instead of like, I did have spurts of time when I was skinny. So I was a really small child. And then about maybe 4th or 5th grade, I started to get heavy. And then 8th grade, I slimmed down. And I was small. I was roughly the size I am now when I got married for my first marriage when I was like 19. And then it proceeded to go up. I had my son, unhappy marriage. Then I like lost some weight and got divorced. And then I got married and my weight started going back up again. I'm a boredom eater. I do eat from my feelings, and I was getting a lot of social anxiety after getting married and moving to San Diego from living in Orange County, where I went to high school and my girlfriends were. So I never even realized how big I was until now, looking back at photos and going, oh my God, that was the Facebook approved photo that I decided was like, I was so awesome. And I'm like, oh my God.
I look at these pictures that I thought were the greatest pictures. I mean, I only took like 3 pictures in a year before. Now it's like January and I already have like 1,000 from this year.
But I've never been afraid to have my picture taken.
Yeah.
That's what's weird. I've never been afraid to have my picture taken. I never thought I was as big as I was until now I look back, but I've never been afraid of the camera. Even when I was big, I
Well, that's because
was
you're
like,
gorgeous.
take my picture. I'm good. I mean, now I'm more like, oh, you would like me in my underwear to take my picture? Sure.
Okay.
But I mean, I wouldn't have done that before, but I was never afraid to have my photo taken, you know? And now I look back and I'm like, ooh.
Usually I take this kind of progressive, but you brought up something that I want to touch on now. You said you were kind of like a boredom eater and you ate for your feelings. How are you handling that now that that's not quite as easy to do as it used to be? I mean, the further out you get, the easier it is to do.
Yeah.
But it's still not like it was.
It's not like it was, but I think I've put on, okay, so WLSFA last year in April when it was here in San Diego, I was like 128 pounds after the little cruise we took. So if you think from then to now, I've put on roughly 8 pounds. And a lot of it is because I have chronic pain. And I think now, instead of eating out of being bored, when I'm in pain, physical pain, I tend to be like, I'd like to munch on something when pain relievers aren't working. So I've realized, I think I've put on like 8 pounds over the course of like the last year, just from being like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. Maybe I'll eat something.
It is so windy here. It's like crazy. Are you comfortable talking about your pain stuff? Because that's a real skinny bitch thing.
Oh, yeah. So, and I went to physical therapy.
You can say no. You can say no.
Oh, no.
Even though I threw it out there while we're live on the air. But
TMI, not really. But some of you may not know what this is, so you're going to have to Google it. My pelvic floor has decided to deceive me. And the gist of this is your pelvic floor holds everything up. It holds your bladder up, your rectum, everything is held up from your pelvic floor. And what I just learned is your hip flexor muscles are on the outside of it. Well, my left hip, my muscles are completely deteriorated. So apparently everything inside and my right hip are compensating.
Oh, so did you find that out since you were here and we talked?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I found that out Thursday, but she said it can all be caused from, I had a hysterectomy and it was done vaginally. We'll just use clinical terms. It was done vaginally. So she says that it can cause a lot of damage when they take an organ out that way. So she says it should get better. There's lots of embarrassing like Kegel exercises, and that was just the first day. We'll see what happens. I have to go every week for a while and try and rebuild the muscles in my hip, which will hopefully rebuild the muscles in my pelvic floor at the same time.
Oh.
We shall see. I think Lorraine just sent me a text.
Oh,
Lorraine?
She sent me a text saying that she's a size 6 too, and so she's a skinny bitch. And Carrie's watching and Scotty's watching. And last week, I don't know if you saw, but he couldn't hear us.
He couldn't hear you. So
he texted me.
Battle, Scotty, I see.
Can you hear me now?
That's so funny.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
But so the pelvic floor thing, I think it can create problems for women with the weight, because everything is so distorted when we have all that fat in our bodies. And then it was probably working like overtime to try and keep my bladder and stuff up. And then I lost all the weight. And
you would think
like,
it would be stronger then, right? I mean,
like, we're going to be cozy and relaxed now. And you're like, no, we don't need weak, relaxing. Ladies, this is when you pee when you sneeze.
Yeah. Well, see, I totally stopped doing that after I lost weight.
I did too, and now it's starting again. But I think it's because she was saying the muscles in my left hip are just deteriorating. And it hurts to work out. So it's kind of this like catch-22. I was going to a personal trainer and I stopped going because I was in so much pain, and it's this pain I've been in. So it's just a matter of doing very strategic exercises to build those muscles back up, and hopefully.
I hope you feel better.
Yeah, you know.
Kind of sucks. So how did you, during these periods where you were gaining weight, what were the kind of things you did to deal with it before surgery?
I did Weight Watchers and then nothing. Really, I'm a like the lean cuisines, try eat lean cuisines, but I tried Weight Watchers a few times. That's really it.
Yeah.
really, that's it. Because I grew up in an overweight family, so my parents are overweight, and I've just grown up like, this is how you eat, and it's crap food, and of course I've already passed that on to my child. You just giving them crappy food.
I am so lucky that my son has his dad's genetics and is like so skinny, even though I taught him, you know, from the get-go, really horrible habits.
Yeah, and I have the opposite. My son is like 5'9" and like 250, and he's 16. But, you know.
How do you deal with that with him?
It's really hard.
It is hard. Yeah.
Make sure he doesn't hear me. But he has like he has food issues, his own food issues. He eats in private and hides food and stuff. And if somebody takes my food, watch out. Don't eat my Reese's peanut butter cups in the freezer.
That's my son knows even now, post-surgery, to ask, is it okay if I have this?
He will take it and then be like, it wasn't me. And you're like, the entire box of tagalongs is in your room. What are you talking about? I didn't do it. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So I still get very possessive over food. If someone eats my food, I get so upset.
I think maybe I get more possessive over food now.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Huh.
But I do.
So if your family growing up was overweight, how have they reacted to you losing weight?
They've reacted really well. My parents and both my brothers are really supportive. My one brother actually lives in South Korea, and he is a missionary. And he had some Korean doctors, like, it's not okay to be overweight in Korea, I guess. So he has
everybody's so tiny.
Yeah, they helped him lose weight. Like, they got him personal trainers, and they changed his diet, and they gave him like some injections and pills. But he's lost and kept off probably maybe close to over 100 pounds.
That's great.
And he's been doing that for almost the same time since I lost weight. So it's kind of like we did it different ways, but we both got healthier. And now he's learning to eat to be healthy and sustain. And he does all this like crazy martial arts stuff and whatever, but it's been going really well.
My dad has been overweight his whole life too. And since I had surgery, he's lost about 50 pounds.
That's awesome.
So that's great. So we'll talk a little bit about your YouTube presence, because you did have videos. I watched them, but you haven't done videos in a while. And I forgot to post your link. This has been a really crazy week, but I will post it down below when I publish this video.
Okay. So yeah, I did the whole videos through Goal. But then it after a little while, it kind of just got mundane. I'm like, these people don't really care every week. But okay, I didn't lose any weight and I'm maintaining, and this is what I ate. Like, it was just so mundane, and I would rather have a relationship through people on Facebook. Like, you can see my everyday life and interaction that way, that I kind of stopped doing videos. I was doing videos for either Tupperware stuff. I would do some fun little demos once in a while for my pinup persona, which is Bettie Bakes a lot. And I've done makeup stuff since I started selling cosmetics a year ago, but I just haven't really felt the need to do videos with the community. And I know, but there hasn't been like a demand, like, oh my gosh, VSG Bettie dropped off the face of the planet. She's not doing videos. So I mean, there was not a demand from the people. So I was like, I think it's okay to walk away and just have my presence be felt, in that I'm supportive. I am not a good YouTube video watcher. I have trouble. I just, when I see a video is 25 minutes or an hour long, I'm like, peace out. And I don't even care what it's about. I can't do it. Just because of the way my brain works. So I find better connections with people through groups, through Facebook, through actual one-on-one connection. That's how I personally connect. So my story is there. My story with my plastic surgery is there, and it's there, and it's not going anywhere. And if people comment, I comment back. But I feel like the reference is there for people who are looking for someone, and they can always find and connect with me in real life as a real person.
Right.
And where I'm at now, instead of like, day 999, I just
Hey,
can't
it's
bring
going to
myself.
be day 999 before I hit goal, so whatever.
It'll happen. I was
It
really
will.
disciplined, and I didn't drink. I also had issues. I got sick in the beginning, like not. I just, a lot of things made me sick in the very beginning. So I lost really quickly. I was very fortunate that way. So now that I can eat, now it's a little tricky.
It's a little different. So somebody, and I don't know who it is, so identify yourself. I don't know if you guys can see this. They sent a dick pic. It's Dick Van Dyke.
Yes. Well played, whoever that was.
Well played, whoever you are. And Christine, teeny tiny tummy for Christine, is watching us tonight. So
hi, Christine.
And so before we get into the surgery, Christine had a couple of great questions, but I'm going to ask this one that she had first. She says, I know you've always had great style and looked beautiful, but I wonder if there was anything about being a larger size then that you felt limited with your choices.
Oh my God, yes. So I've gone through many phases in my fat life. So like, I was just really cute, right? Because I was in the juniors department. It's super cute. And then I started shopping at like Eddie Bauer, and I became this really like conservative dress, which is funny because it's not really me. Yeah. Oh my God. I have to post a photo somewhere of there's a hilarious like Express Portraits or whatever that place is called in the mall, of my son when he's little. And it's like, that's how you dressed, really? No joke. Because that's where I found clothes that were at least good quality, and I felt comfortable, and I thought I looked cute. But now looking back, I'm like, that's so not who I was. Mm-hmm. And then when I had lost some weight again, then I was able, and Old Navy came around, and they had bigger sizes. When they finally started carrying their up to size 20 in the store, I felt, I'm able to be a little more fashionable, a little more trendy. And then I found Torrid. I did not know the store existed until I moved to San Diego. I had no idea about the store. And once I found Torrid, I really found like a difference because I could dress. I was introduced to like kind of the pinup world and being able to dress sexier at a bigger size than I was before without, having to shop at Lane Bryant. And, I felt like I was my mom when I shopped at Lane Bryant or Eddie Bauer. Like, that's how my mom dresses, and that's never really my personality. We're very different. So once I found Torrid, I think my style and fashion greatly changed because I was able to find things that could express myself, even though I was bigger, about the way I really truly saw myself, which is the way I was when I was younger. Right.
Do you have tips for people who still wear plus sizes about fashion?
I think, if Patricia Miller does her fashion class, she did one about like body typing and learning what type of body you are, and where things should like frame your body based on to best complement. She did it at the WSFA last year, and it was the most interesting thing that I didn't even know about. So learning your different body shapes, we found out I'm a banana, which I did not know existed. So basically I'm just like this. I'm basically straight down.
Wait, I knew apple because that's what I am. What was the other
So there's
one?
like apple, there's a pear.
I didn't know there was a banana.
Yeah, I didn't either, but it's people who are basically straight. Like I'm straight. I just go like, there we go. I had to get hips carved out, when I had my plastic surgery because I'm straight. There was no waist, it's just straight. So I think really learning those things about yourself, like if you have someone who's close to you who knows a lot about fashion in the way of being able to say, oh, if you have really big arms, you don't want it to cut right here. You want it to go down, because if you cut it right here, it's going to be accenting what you don't want to show off. You're really accentuating that instead of. So there were all these things that I learned from her that I don't necessarily have issues because I am straight and, I've had plastic, so I'm very small. But I could see that these would have helped me so much before, because I'm sure I wore so many unflattering things because I didn't know about. It's better to go sleeveless when you have big arms than it is to wear something that cuts in the middle of your big arm.
Interesting.
So if you don't go long, you're better off to wear a tank top because it's directing people to here. Their eye is going to your shoulder. Their eye is not going to the middle of your arm where your sleeve is ending.
Right.
So I think knowing those things about yourself are.
And also, like, I always wore big, huge, baggy clothes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's worse. That makes you look, I thought that was like hiding something that people weren't going to notice I was 400 pounds.
It just made you look bigger. You probably looked
It just made me
pounds.
look bigger. And now I can't stand it. I mean, I cannot stand to wear anything. I am today because I'm moving, but I can't stand to wear anything that isn't fitted.
I've always worn fitted clothes. For me to wear something that's slightly loose feels awkward, and it always has. So the only time I do it now is if I'm wearing leggings, I might wear like a blouse that's a little bit loose, but I just had to get used to doing that because now when I do that, I feel like I'm wearing something that's too big.
So that leads us to the most important question of the night.
Yes.
Are leggings pants?
As long as you don't, these are the rules. No, you cannot have camel toe, so they need to be the right size. And they better not be sheer enough that I can see your underwear.
Okay, can I tell you guys what I did? I don't think I posted this on Facebook. I just told a couple of people about it. So the other day, I packed a lot of my clothes, and then I took a lot of my other clothes to the laundromat to get washed, flip and fold before I moved. So I was very limited in what I had. So I put on what I thought were fleece-lined leggings. And then I was in Tilly's trying on some clothes, and I realized they were tights.
No.
Bad.
No. See, no. My newest obsession.
Tights are definitely not pants. I was like,
those are under attire.
God. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
My newest obsession is Lula Row Leggings. It's a direct sales company. I don't know. I keep getting put in these groups on Facebook. They're amazing quality, and they're super soft, like crazy, but they have fun designs. But I'm also a cheapskate, so I also like to go to Walmart and pay like
which ones did you get? You just got some new ones for something.
Oh, those are from Lula Row. They're conversation hearts, and they're amazing.
Oh, your Valentine's Day leggings, right?
I also have some with cupids.
Very cute.
Maybe I'll get some St. Patty's Day ones for Chicago. It'll be freezing. I'll wear them under my clothes, but I'll give you guys a special show.
We are a half hour in, and I haven't even asked you about your weight loss surgery, hardly. So
that's what I'm about life.
Jamie, what was it that made you decide to have weight loss surgery?
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
When it becomes uncomfortable to wipe your own butt. Sorry. It was just
sorry.
Do many guests get that reaction out of you? That's awesome.
No, that's a first. I wasn't expecting that. Sorry, go ahead. But you know why? Because at 200, what were you? 230 something?
Yeah, almost 240. Yeah.
It was still not uncomfortable for me to wipe my butt then.
It was.
I
really
must have longer arms than you.
Or I think, well, I've also had back issues when I was heavy. Like my lower back always hurt. So, I mean, if it's uncomfortable and your back hurts for you to wipe your butt, it was time to do something. And in all transparency, I actually had to put on weight to get surgery because they were like, you're 5 pounds away and we won't see you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I put on weight, and then I put weights in my pocket when I went to the doctor. Oh my God. So I could,
I spilled on my shirt.
Oops, it's all right. It's a wet t-shirt contest.
Huh?
It's a wet t-shirt contest now.
I guess.
That's funny. Lorraine is watching because she just told me she needs some St. Patrick's Day leggings for for when we go to
do cartwheels and St. Patrick's Day leggings.
I'm in. But no, that was really I know that seems so silly, but that was kind of a wait.
Seems silly, but it's a big deal. I mean,
if this basic task is uncomfortable, we have a problem. I didn't think I had a problem. And then, I mean, I knew I was heavy, and my parents both were diagnosed with diabetes in their 40s. So I was like, okay, so I'm in my, mid 30s. Well, now's the time. And if the military is willing to pay for it, then
yeah, absolutely.
That's what I should do.
I hate this now. I look like I drooled all over myself, Jamie.
It's all right. When they get if we had instant replay of you spitting your drink almost out.
So what was your process pre-surgery? You're drinking a carbonated beverage with a straw.
That's right, because I'm fancy. It's a really long twisty straw that I have.
Very cute.
I just figured it would be easier than putting the bottle completely in my face while we talk. But don't drink out of a straw.
Well, you know what? Dr. Weiner actually debunked those myths.
Yeah,
about straws and carbonation and all that stuff, but that's another video.
That's another thing. What were we talking about? Oh, the process.
Your process.
So for me, with the military, you just self-refer to general surgery when you have a BMI of 40. You can self-refer. So once I found that out, as soon as I knew my height weight requirement, I self-referred there, had to do like a group intake class thing where they explain the process. I had 3 nutrition classes I had to attend because I had already done Weight Watchers, and they consider Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig like already doing that 6-month supervised diet. So I didn't have to, that was like waived. I didn't have to do that. So I had to do like classes, the 3 classes, psych eval, the sleep study, like all those traditional things, you know, the testing you have to get done to make sure you're healthy. But the only real thing that was like a big requirement was just those 3 classes I had to do. And I really could have had surgery within 2 months of my first attempt, which means I would have had surgery in 2012. But I chickened out when I went to my pre-op appointment, I chickened out and I didn't get surgery.
So why did you chicken out?
Because they told me I might not be able to have wine or cheese ever again.
I remember being in the shower the day I was going to surgery, because my surgery was in the afternoon, thinking, what the fuck? I am never going to be able to eat any of these things ever again.
Yeah, that's what they told me. And so I'm at my pre-op appointment, and they're telling me, and I went through the whole thing, and they give me, you know, all the paperwork, and I go to the surgery, like they do an intake at their office, and then I had to go over to where the surgery happens and do another thing over there. And I seriously then backed out of my surgery.
Why did they tell you couldn't eat cheese?
They said a lot of people become lactose intolerant. And I'm like, but I love cheese and I'm not ready to give up cheese. It's totally ridiculous. But 6 months later, I ran into some girls I had been in that class with, and they had their surgeries and they looked amazing. And they said, you have to call them because it was November and my 1 year is up in December. And if I didn't call them and schedule a surgery, I would have had to start the process all over and gained back the weight I lost.
Oh, jeez.
So they were like, you've got to call them and get in, just do it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I mean, but I totally chickened out, and for totally selfish fat girl reasons, like, right? You're telling me I might not be able to eat this.
I know.
But I just grew a love for wine. I mean, I've always loved cheese since I was a kid, but I could not bear the thought of like you telling me I was not going to be able to have cheese.
See, I never heard that.
I have a very strict Mexican Jewish nutritionist.
Okay.
And she's hilarious, but I'm totally always honest with her. And she just shakes her head at me like a good Jewish mother does. She just shakes her head at me like, Jamie, you need to stop that. And I'm like, well, are you getting your water in? Nope. Are you getting in your protein? Nope. Are you having your vitamins? No, not really. And we have a mothering moment, then I try, and then I fall off the wagon. And
so what are you doing now, 3 years post-op, in terms of calories, protein, water, vitamins?
So I do not drink water.
Ever?
Very, very rarely.
Any newbie who's listening, do not pay attention to that. You have to drink your water.
You do. You totally should. I actually drink exactly the same as I did before surgery. So I've never been a water drinker. I've never drank a lot of fluids in a day. So most days, this is horrible. Do as I say, not as I do, is how my life should be viewed. I really, most days, probably consume 16 to 24 fluid ounces of any liquid in a day. And I am not dehydrated. I've always been that way. My doctors can't quite figure it out, but I'm not dehydrated. And that's just, if I can, I have a lot of restriction. So I'm very limited. If I can eat or drink, I'm going to choose to eat.
Yes, of course.
The truth. I don't really track unless I'm getting way out of hand. Then I'll track for a few days and go back down. But I don't even track how much protein. I probably get maybe 50 grams of protein in. I know I should probably have more, but I probably get 50 grams of protein in most days.
50 is reasonable.
For my size, it probably is. Yeah. And I don't drink water. I'm also very bad with my vitamins. except for vitamin D, because I have always been deficient. That's the only thing I take is vitamin D. But all of my levels, I get checked all the time. So all my levels are normal. So I'm getting enough, obviously, from what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm horrible. Oh, water. If you see me drinking water, I am so thirsty.
Okay, then.
It's many people in the community will tell you this. Like, they're like, oh, Jamie doesn't drink water. They'll like force feed me water. I hate it.
Okay. You drink margaritas, okay.
Yeah. Flavored water, as I like to call every other beverage. There's water in coffee.
Yeah, for sure. But are you including like coffee and whatever else you drink? That's 16 to 24 ounces? All
fluid, any fluid ounces a day. Like today I've had this little tiny split, which is how many? I don't know. It's tiny. It's probably like, yeah, it's teeny tiny. And I've had a grande flat white from Starbucks, and that is it.
Okay.
But I don't get thirsty, and it's just, in the summer I tend to drink more fluids, but during the winter I don't. But my doctor's I am totally honest.
Exercise. You talked about stopping your personal trainer because of the physical stuff that's going on, but what about initially post-op?
I am that skinny bitch who did not exercise.
She doesn't drink water, she doesn't exercise, and she's in a size 0 to 2. Why do I like you?
Because I'm honest about it. And I know it's not rational. Like, it makes no sense. I did walk for a while. I have all these really cute workouts.
Everybody has to walk. You know,
no, I mean, but like, I live on the beach. I used to go walking, but yeah, I did have a personal trainer for a while after my plastic surgery. I was like, I just paid money for this. I got to keep it up.
Right.
Because you're like, I invested in this plastic surgery. I should go to a personal trainer to keep it up. But I was in so much pain. It just, maybe once my hip issues get better. I did enjoy my time with my personal trainer, but I honestly wouldn't go if I had to go. If it was left to me to go, I would not go.
Yeah, that's why I have a relative as my personal trainer, because I mean, now I would go, but in the beginning, and it's a relative from my son's dad's side of the family. So that accountability kept me much more on track in the beginning than it would have been if I was just paying somebody out of the.
Mine was free from the military. So that's another reason I have to pay for it, right? And she would call me and be like, Jamie, I'm like, I'm in pain. But I couldn't figure out what the pain was, and now we know what it is. But yeah, I did not want to go.
All right then.
But I am honest.
That's what I like about you. So how did your weight loss impact your relationships with your husband, your kids, your friends, or did it?
It didn't impact my home relationship. I do think I did have some friendships for a while that were weird because I used to be the fat friend, or like we were all kind of the fat friend. We're all about the same size. But but I remember like taking a trip with some friends, and it was maybe 6 months after surgery, and it was like, and it was Vegas, and it's like, I'm not going to go to the buffet. I can't eat at the buffet. I'm not going to.
It's such a waste of money.
I don't want to waste the money. And it's like, but you go and you enjoy the buffet, or I'll just come in and sit with you guys, but I'm not going to eat because I don't want to waste my money. Or I'd get lectured because of what I was eating. You can't just have cheese and meat. Oh, you want to bet? I could totally live on cheese and bacon. Watch me. But so I would get lectured. Those relationships, once they realize, oh, you are healthy and you lost the weight and you are healthy, and then it would kind of slowly deteriorated, I guess, as they got used to seeing that that's just the way she is. And now she eats more, because I find they're just so concerned when they first see you and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so small and that's all you're going to eat. Well, yeah, that's all I can eat right now. I mean, I feel like VSG is almost like Chinese food, right? Because you eat and then like 20 minutes later, you want to eat again.
You can eat some more. Right, exactly.
But that's like the story of my life. I make dinner for my family and I make a plate and I eat the tiniest amount, and then a half an hour goes by and I'm hungry. Well, then everybody starts being like, oh, I'm hungry too. No, you're not. You just ate enough food for like 2 meals. I had like 4 bites and now I'm hungry again. So it's so strange to deal with like those kind of things, because when you eat, then other people tend to be like, oh, well, maybe I'm hungry too, because psychologically they're like, well, if it's been long enough for her to eat, it must be long enough for me.
Right.
And it's not. it's not. But that's kind of the story of my life. But I really didn't lose any friends. I've actually had several people have surgery that I know since I went through surgery, and people who, like, they're not a part of the community. They're just people I've known, and I get messages like, oh, because of what you did, or people that my husband Pete is friends with. They're like, oh, I saw your wife's progress, and I decided I'm going to have surgery. And then some of them will connect with me and some of them won't, but they always tell him, like, it's because of watching my progress and how supportive he was that they decided to do it too. So, like, that's nice to know that people are watching, and you do inspire people even when you're not trying.
Absolutely. And I totally lost track of my thought. I'm in my office. I'm just going to say this. It's totally, there is something in here that smells like raw garlic. It's driving me crazy, and I have no idea what it could possibly be.
That's weird.
I know. There is like never any food in here. I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe it's something from a drain from outside.
Maybe
the wind
is blowing it up. I don't know. It's very distracting. What do you do for work?
I am a makeup artist, and I sell an online cosmetics direct sales company.
And she did my makeup, and it was awesome.
Yes, that was fun.
Do you feel like, how do you feel like if it has, losing weight has impacted your career?
I actually just decided to become a makeup artist. I took a class in November to become an official certified makeup artist after selling cosmetics for the last year. I realized how much I really, really enjoy it. And so having the ability to stand on my feet for 8 hours and take a class for 7 weeks, 5 days a week, and be able to have the stamina to complete it and do really well means, I'm now hireable. I have a skill for something I love to do that I didn't really realize how much I loved it. Because when I look back at my pictures from when I'm heavy, I didn't have facial features. Like I
didn't have eyes or a neck.
Yeah, a lot of us look Asian. And it's so, but when I say that, it's because our eyes are so folded over
buried.
I was like, you can't even see all that work I put into that eye makeup that I thought I was rocking. And I'm looking at the photo going, my eyes just look teeny tiny. But now I know, oh, I could have totally looked totally different had I known the right ways to do things. So it's been fun and eye-opening to try different things and be comfortable to just be who I am and do what I want to do and not really care.
Right. No, I hear you. What are the biggest ways or what are the most powerful moments? Usually I have all these questions laid out, but I thought we're just having a conversation. So I'm trying to remember them. And what I found out is if I just have a conversation, it goes way longer. But what have been the most powerful moments for you along this process?
Obviously it not hurting to wipe my butt anymore is a big win. I don't need a squatty potty because I can put my feet up on the toilet and use the toilet as a squatty potty. People don't
wait a minute.
Because I can sit like this
on the toilet. Do you do that? I never thought about that. Okay, and I heard about the squatty potty from Melissa.
But so Melissa laughs about it. But I totally can put my feet up. So that's totally like crazy. But so no more issues with that. Win-win. I actually used to have horrible IBS, and I used to dump when I was heavy, and I did not know that's what it was happening to me. So I don't have those issues anymore. Those were big, like, oh my gosh, moments in my life. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't know that I feel like I've had any big, like, I mean, moments. I did enter a pinup contest. That was fun and exciting. I've done a couple of those, which I probably never would have done before. Although I did pinup stuff, and the pinup world is very accepting of people who are overweight. I probably never would have had the courage to do it and feel confident enough in myself to actually like get up on stage and think I could compete with these girls. I did do a magazine lingerie photo shoot.
Awesome.
It's published in a magazine called the Pinup Index. And so that was fun. So like that was a big like, oh my gosh, I was put in a magazine and I'm in my underwear. So
is that your biggest NSV, or is wiping your butt your biggest NSV?
That is actually, so probably wiping my butt really, because that is a lifelong thing. The most recent NSV is when I went to the doctor for the my OBGYN visit to figure out why I was in so much pain. And she's like, "You're like super skinny." And I'm like, "I'm only like 8 pounds from my being overweight again. I don't know what you're talking about." She's like, "Your pelvis is so narrow. I can see this muscle that normally we can only see from internal exams." And that was a huge NSD. It's like totally ridiculous, but I'm like, "Oh, you can't normally see this muscle on people?" They're like, "Nope." And you're just like right there. We can touch it and feel it from the outside. And normally they only can feel it from the inside. And it's one of those hip muscles. But I mean, still it's weird 3 years out and you're still getting told something that you're like, I got a narrow pelvis. All right. It's just like, I don't feel skinny all the time. I do have that whole, like, sometimes I still feel big, like we all, everybody does. I don't think that ever 100% goes away. But
right.
yeah, but the biggest one obviously is being able to wipe your own butt without pain and discomfort.
Okay. I have 3 more questions and we're getting close to time. Damn it. This went by really fast.
I'm entertaining people if you didn't know.
You're so entertaining. So number 1, talk about how being part of this YouTube, Facebook community has impacted your life.
I did not know about it in the beginning. And Mike Kurtz, who's no longer anywhere to be seen.
I don't even know who that is. Who's that?
Right. So he was VSG Bear. He was my WLS husband. He has now dropped off the face of the planet. But he kind of, right after my surgery was like, "Oh my gosh, there's this thing in Vegas. It's called the WLSFA. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Okay." And he watched everyone's video. So he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is Tanya. We have to meet VSG Tanya. And we have to meet Corey J. Cook. And we got to meet." So I met all these people that I had no idea who they were. So then I immediately went home and started watching videos. And he had encouraged me to make some. So I'd already made videos by then. But I really wasn't watching other people's videos.
How did you meet him? Did you already know him or you?
He was friends with one of my friends and
okay.
He had said he was having surgery and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was supposed to," and I backed out, but I just rescheduled mine and our surgeries were just a couple days apart. Oh. So it just worked out. He lives locally and we just became friends from mutual friends we have here in the city, but it was really weird. So I started watching people's videos and then from there I built relationships. So for me, I built relationships on Facebook with people, and that for me is my real connection because I feel like it's more ongoing and interactive. So like YouTube gave me a basis to be like, "Oh, I kind of like these people. Let's go filter it in over here," versus the other of just feeling like, "Oh, okay, well, there they are." And there's no real give and take on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why I think probably with Facebook, I just feel more of a connection with people because there's that give and take interaction.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about plastics a little bit. Before I do that, I want to wrap up the WLS stuff. But so if you had one tip for newbies coming from the person who doesn't drink her water, eat her vitamins, or exercise, what would your tip for newbies be?
So do all those things. And don't get attached to anyone like, "Oh my," like when, we're going through our pre-diet and like, "Oh my God, I love this protein shake." Guess what? You're probably going to hate it after surgery. And never be committed to buying in bulk until you find the one you really like. Because I wasted so much freaking money on protein products that I hated. So always start small. Bigger is not better when you're trying to find what you like and can tolerate post-surgery. Like don't be committed until you know for sure, because I probably tried 10 or 15 different shakes in my first month to find something my body would tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love you all to save your pennies and try something first. If you can get a sample from a company or a smaller container, do that first before committing wholeheartedly.
I can't remember what company it is that lets you pick a bunch of different samples.
I just got some from Quest from their protein powders for free, but
There's some online place where you can order different company protein powders and get little tastes of it.
I know the Nectar or Syntrex, they have a lot, and I think you can buy sample packs or get them at the vitamin shop. If you have a vitamin shop by you, they sell the actual the juice kind of ones.
The Nectar, yeah.
And the powder ones you mix with milk or whatever.
So plastics.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What did you have done? How did you decide that was what you wanted to have done? Where did you have it done? In like 3 minutes or less. No.
Okay, you got it. There's a video at VSG Betty. No. And there is a video. I have a skin flick. But I had some friends who had gone to Cosmed Clinic in Tijuana with Dr. Kuros. And so he was kind of recommended to me, and he was at the first obesity health conference I went to 3 years ago when it was in Anaheim. And I met him, and on a whim, he had a cancellation for a consult. So I did my consult there, and he's like, okay, you need a lower body lift and a breast lift. And then when I went down and saw him in Mexico, he was like, we can liposuction the fat out and put it in your butt to give you a butt again. So I did that. So I did all those things. I had a lower body lift. I had some lipo sculpting where the fat was then injected into my butt, and a breast lift. I was potentially going to have implants later, but I ended up not needing them. I'm perfectly happy with my 16-year-old boobs. I'm good. I feel like perky 16-year-old, and I'm happy with that. But I really decided to go to Tijuana. One, my surgeon is board certified in the U.S. He actually lives a couple miles from me, like just up the road.
I think he used to practice. I mean, wasn't he at UC Irvine? Because I had a consult with him at OH too. He used to be at UC Irvine right down the road. Yeah. Yeah,
he did. It's just, it's less expensive to operate there. And more people can afford to get it done. I paid less than $11,000, and that included my stay and medications. And I did stay there in a wonderful, fabulous facility where I was taken care of for 24 hours a day. And I could not have afforded to have surgery in the US. And the military used to give one elective surgery, and they stopped. Now they've started again, of course.
Of course.
Maybe I'll get them
to give me something else you want to get done.
My neck lift, maybe they'll.
I know.
My neck, but
you're too young for that.
No, I totally have. Apparently, this muscle is detached right here, so maybe I can get them to do it on that note.
That'd be good.
Medical necessity.
How long did you stay in Mexico after your surgery?
I stayed for 11 days. However, I probably was really ready to go home about 8 days, but my family was sick. So then I just sucked it up, and I had a private room, internet, 24-hour food service, nursing care. They took care of all my wounds. They bathed me, so that's kind of nice and I went home without drains.
And did you have anybody go with you, or it was just you?
I went by myself. My husband came down and stayed the first night with me. I was in recovery. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes from my house. Yeah. No joke. If there's no wait at the border, it's 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Which is why the surgeon lives right down the street from me. But so he came, and then after that, he just came down. The first couple of days, he came down every day, and had dinner with me. So he'd come down after work, and he'd have dinner with me, and then he'd come back. And by dinner, I mean he'd eat the rest of the food I didn't eat that they gave me, that they were always freaked out about the fact that I didn't eat. And then towards the end, he was coming every couple of days, and I just watched TV. And then I met some crazy ladies out in there's a common area you could sit in, and they had ordered in carne asada and stuff. And they were like, do you guys want some? We have margaritas. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Christine just texted me, and she reminded me it's nettrition.com, where you can order sample sizes of a bunch of protein in a pack for $18. So you guys should check
I would
that
do
out.
that.
And also, don't buy it. Even if you find something you like pre-op, wait until post-op, because you may not like it.
Get that sample pack for when you come home from the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I have more questions, but we're running out of time, and I need to ask you our WLS inside the WLS studio questions.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Oh, I guess. I'm excited.
What's your favorite word?
Cunt.
That was on our first show. Somebody said that, but they said it as their favorite curse word, because that's another question.
Oh, I don't consider it a curse word, but okay.
Okay. I said this on the first show when this was brought up, and I'll say it again. This is like my family. When I was a kid, my parents were divorced. My mom, her sister, and I lived with the roommate was a gay guy, and we had all these cats, and she called it 3 cunts, 3 cats, and a queer.
Yes.
When I was a kid.
It's like 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
That was before that. What's your least favorite word? We're going to get some thumbs down for that, I know, but
no,
whatever.
Because it's not moist like all the people who hate the word moist. I actually don't have a word that bothers me or I don't like. I don't have a word.
Okay. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Music. I really enjoy music. Yeah. I find the most like creativity and it draws emotion.
What are some of your favorite bands or artists?
I really actually love country music. People might think that's weird.
Eddie Bauer and country.
I really love country music, but
I like old country music.
I like 90s country, 2000s, you know, Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw, and the Dixie Chicks and all that jazz. But I love Pink and I sing, so I love pop music and country music and musicals. And
what turns you off?
Bad hygiene.
It all comes back to not being able to wipe your butt.
Yes, exactly.
What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Okay. That seems to be the number one of everybody.
Well, yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
What sound or noise do I love? Oh, I do love the sound of rain. I mean, I don't like driving in it here, but the sound of it's nice.
Yes. What sound or noise do you hate?
People chewing gum with their mouth open, especially behind me in the car, AKA my children.
So do you have some children who do that?
Yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would like to be a professional singer.
What profession would you not like to do?
I do not want to be a doctor.
How come?
Anything in the medical field. I actually went to school for medical assisting and realized that was not my thing. I do not want to deal with I don't want to deal with other people's poop, Liz. Let's just bring it all back to the potty.
It's all back.
I do not want to deal with other people's poop or vomit.
My dad's a doctor, and once I grew up and had a job, I was like, yeah, your job really sucks, because if I make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. If you make a mistake, it's a huge deal.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, no.
Yeah. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome, you sexy bitch. Why not?
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie, for doing this. I so appreciate it. And can't wait to spend some time with you in Chicago.
But first, don the beachcombers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Don the beachcombers for my birthday. And I wanted to throw something out to everybody. When we did the show with Dr. Katzen the other night, it was at 7 o'clock Pacific, and it was on a different night, and we had a lot of viewers. Can you comment below on what your thoughts are about maybe pushing this time a little bit later? If you're on the West Coast, it's pretty early. So let me know what you think about maybe changing the time. Next week, I didn't write this down, but next week, I believe we have all the WLSFA people on, Laura, Tony, and Rain. Hampton and Jennifer Bleacher will be the co-host. I don't know if everybody's already heard this, but Carney Wilson is going to be on Celebrity Apprentice for WLSFA, which is huge. So that is super, super exciting. What else? Oh, and the week after that, I think it's Valentine's Day. I'm not going to be here that night, but Jennifer Bleacher will be here with Gastric Tiger and his wife, Bridget. So, all right, I will see you guys next Sunday from a new location. Hopefully everything will work out with that, and I'll have internet. So have a great week, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.